All right, welcome to Gun Talk Nation. This week, Gun Talk Nation is coming to you from Columbia, Missouri. Why in the world are we in Columbia, Missouri? No, I haven't enrolled in the J School at Mizzou. Actually, I'm with Gary Killingsworth from Team Gun Talk. And Gary, we're out here doing some media event stuff with American Outdoor Brands.
Yeah.
So American Outdoor Brands, if you don't know them, that's kind of the inside baseball name for it. But basically, they own a bunch of different brands, 20 plus brands. Brands like Crimson Trace, Caldwell,
Wheeler, Tipton,
Lockdown, and then stuff on like the more hunting side, like Bubba Blade, Huey Man, Bog, formerly Bog Pod. Mm-hmm. But today's Gun Talk Nation is brought to you by, how about that, Crimson Trace, also Springfield Armory, as well as ATN Optics. ATN Optics, we've talked about them a lot. Night vision, thermal, lots of different stuff that they offer. One of the things they do are actually rangefinders. And the rangefinders are, as we're seeing, and we're going to talk about it today, technology changing the world of gear for us as hunters and shooters. And the rangefinder will talk to the scope and vice versa. Pretty cool stuff. They also have some night vision products like X-Sight and different versions of the X-Sight that are like, it's a night vision scope, but it's also a day vision scope.
Yeah, really, really cool stuff.
Yeah, I mean, and you can record your shooting. Yeah. That's always a challenge, I'll be honest. For us, we're filming TV and video content, seeing through the scope with the camera to really figure out what your eye is seeing and try to show you is always weird. So ATN, they've got that stuff too. Take it to your iMovie and make yourself look super cool. So check out ATN. We appreciate all those companies for helping us out and sponsoring Gun Talk Nation. So Gary, we're up here in Columbia, Missouri, and we thought we'd give people a little behind the scenes of how this works.
Yeah.
And you've come from this world of putting on media events.
Yeah.
So just give them the rundown of like, what is this thing that we're at and why?
Yeah, for sure. So we're here, American Outdoor Brands, and there's a lot of different brands involved. Mm-hmm. And so you're doing a media event. Well, what does that mean necessarily? So we get a chance to come in, we get a chance to, get presented to, talk to, all the different folks that work with all these brands.
Right.
And, we get to find out what's new, what they're developing, some things that, are coming soon that we really can't talk about.
They also, one of the things that the companies will do is sometimes they'll use these because they'll invite in, I think we probably had, I don't know, 12, 15 different media members that are gun hunting related.
Yep.
And these people,
different mediums.
In different mediums and print, magazines and TV shows and digital stuff. And these are end users, and these are like the super end users that see everything. So they'll use these events as a little bit of R&D. Hey, what do you guys think about this?
Absolutely.
And we'll give them feedback about, well, we love this, or well, the place that you put this switch, maybe you could swap it out or make it shorter or longer or harder or whatever, just a little bit. I'm not a product designer, but we are end users, and sometimes the engineers are end users, which is really helpful.
Yep.
Sometimes they're like, wow, I never thought of that.
And we definitely run into situations too where we're thinking, wow, someone actually thought of that.
For sure.
You get wowed by things that are being developed. And
so we thought we'd kind of bounce around on this podcast, and we'll talk about some of the stuff that we're seeing, kind of trends overall with all of these brands, but also beyond this, and just a couple other things. American Outdoor Brands is not really the known entity, but their sister company is.
Yep.
Smith & Wesson.
Smith & Wesson.
And Smith & Wesson owns Thompson Center, and they also own Gemtech.
Right.
So there's the firearms side of things. So what have we seen this week that's been cool? Because people, I know that we don't usually get in too hard on the gear on Gun Talk Nation, but we all like gear stuff.
Oh, yeah.
What have you seen that was kind of neat?
Oh, man. So definitely the lockdown stuff. I mean, there's been a lot of talk about the puck. Obviously, that's super cool. There's so much possibility. You can see, kind of where they're heading with the the Logic app and all that stuff. The vault door, the lockdown vault door.
Yeah, that's kind of
really
sneak peek
cool
for you guys listening.
Yeah, yeah.
So I mean, it's been talked about. It's not exactly a secret, but I guess it'll be really available. Maybe not quite yet, but soon.
Yeah.
So the idea is, if you wanted to turn a room of your house into a vault.
Yeah. Yeah.
And whether you build that in with a cinder block room, or it's just it's a room that I want to make secure, and I'm going to make it my gun room or my safe room or whatever. Lockdown has a vault door. So if you think of it like the door to your gun safe, but it is a standard size real door, a 6'8" door, and they have it in various sizes from 28 inches wide to 32 inches wide, and it's designed to be pretty much a DIY swap.
Yep, you put it in. I mean, you and a few buddies.
Yeah, because it's a steel door.
Yeah.
It is a vault door. It's 300 plus pounds, so you may need an extra set of hands. But it is designed to slide in and fit your standard door size.
Yeah.
But it's not just a vault door; it's a smart vault door.
Yeah, the gadgetry of it too, and it makes cool noises. And
you press the buttons, and it's like, and it opens up. And if you want to kind of go next level baller, this would be maybe one of the steps for you. Yeah. But it monitors humidity, it monitors temperature. Check out my vault, bro. Yeah. You can set different codes for different people.
Yeah.
You can find out when a door opens, it'll connect to Wi-Fi. The door connects to Wi-Fi if you want it to.
Yep.
It'll work without Wi-Fi as well.
And there's and these are questions that we got to ask and things like that. There's no master code, right? No one knows your code.
They were very the folks at Lockdown were very cognizant of who we are as gun owners. It's like, I like the tech, I like to be secure, but I'm not really wanting to sacrifice, some, I don't know, some anonymity or whatever it may be. So they don't actually keep a master code for your, you keep that. And it's kind of neat. That was definitely something that's cool and it's also, if you compare and price out other vault doors, which I haven't done a lot of, I don't have a vault, but apparently the price point is awesome on it too.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a neat thing. I think that Caldwell, they've got some new steel targets, which are fun.
Yeah.
Crimson Trace is doing some neat things, both on the laser side, but also on the scope side of things.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Crimson Trace expanded into optics in the last year or so, and they make it's good stuff. I mean, they're known for lasers, obviously, but it's exciting. It's exciting what they're doing.
And it's interesting when you kind of hear a little bit of behind the scenes of how they're having these, how they're building these scopes, where they're coming from. It's, how do I say this? A lot of optics are made in a few factories.
Right.
I guess what I'm saying is it's a positive. There's a lot of similar quality in a lot of the optics that you like.
And it comes down to engineering, and that's we were talking earlier about just technology and design cues and things like that, and just the vastness of talent that's in the industry.
Oh yeah.
In general,
for sure.
Just understanding the end user a little bit better. I mean, it just seems to be across the board. Everyone's making good stuff.
Oh yeah.
It's
hard to get away with making not quality products these days because we've got the internet.
Exactly.
Everyone talks.
Exactly. Yeah, you're held accountable.
And if they like your product, they'll tell one person. If they hate it, they'll tell 100 people. So it's
for sure.
Immediately. You know that going in when you're a product designer and you're a brand manager for these guys.
Yeah.
So we went to the range yesterday. We got kind of the rundown in the PowerPoint presentations, and then we went to the range and we shot them.
Yeah.
And so some of the fun stuff we did. One of the fun things that we didn't even talk about yet is the Smith & Wesson accessory brand.
Yeah.
So you go, Smith & Wesson accessory brand, what exactly is that? Well, they have a bunch of different lights.
Yep.
They have a bunch of different knives. I mean, a bunch of different knives.
Yeah.
Some really cool stuff. All right, one of the things that I saw that was, I thought, a really good idea, and I think if you're listening to Gun Talk Nation, you're probably generally a preparedness-minded person.
Yeah.
So you probably keep a lot of stuff in your vehicle.
Yeah.
One of the things I have in my vehicle, in the side door, just sitting in the slot, is like a glass breaker seatbelt cutter deal. It looks like a little miniature hatchet.
Yep.
And they say, well, this, and they held up this little guy that was about 2 or 3 inches long.
Yep.
This is a glass breaker seatbelt cutter, but it goes in the cigarette lighter of your car, and there's 2 USB chargers. So you've seen the cigarette lighter USB charger deal, but it also has a glass breaker and a seatbelt cutter.
Yeah.
And the point they made,
it's always going to be there.
You know where, and
you know it's there.
And actually, Renelle, who's like in charge of this brand, she goes, I've rolled my car.
Yeah.
And when you roll your car and you're in an accident, not number one, you're disoriented.
Yep.
Number two, everything goes everywhere. Anything that's loose goes everywhere.
So that glass breaker that's in the door console basically, it's not there anymore.
Right.
Or your method of searching for it is going to be completely different.
Yeah.
At that point.
But I thought that was brilliant. It sits in the cigarette lighter. It's functional. It's not just taking up your cigarette lighter.
Yeah.
You plug it in your stuff and charge it. I thought that was neat. So, but when we went to the range, I got ahead of myself. I interrupted myself. What did we get to do?
Throw knives and axes.
Yes, throw knives.
So that was one of the coolest things to see was, I mean, you have all these different stages that you can go to and shoot literally just about any firearm.
Yeah.
But the big stack up was at the axe and knife throwing station because it's hard.
Yeah.
But you start getting a little success with it. I mean, everyone's cheering.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't not taunt the guy behind you, and then you're trying trick shots. And
so definitely gonna have to get some of these.
Yep.
Way fun.
Yeah.
So throwing knives from Smith & Wesson, throwing hatchets, a couple different ones actually.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't think it's that expensive, and you can get a set of them and get a big board in your backyard and just go to town.
They actually sell a kit that is the knives and axes in one kit. The party kit, pretty much.
The party kit. Well, we'll put a link to that on this. We'll put a link to that so you can click through, and if you're interested, you can purchase it. I think we can actually. Maybe we'll even get a deal. We'll see.
Yeah. I got a deal.
We'll negotiate a deal.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go on record without asking them.
Yeah.
So that was fun. We got to shoot a bunch of rifles.
Yeah.
And
moving targets.
All right. So we did a live video. I think we did it on our Facebook account, and we did a live video with moving targets. So the range we were at in the afternoon is the range where the big Bianchi competition is, Bianchi Cup.
Yep. Kind of hollow ground.
It is hollow ground. I mean, Bianchi Cup for decades was the Super Bowl of pistol shooting.
Yep.
It's the big dog.
Yep.
And one of the big events is the mover. So this target is going right to left. I think it's always right to left.
I believe it is.
And it's a right to left target, and it's moving at a pretty good pace. I would say it would be like me jogging.
Yeah, it's like race walking speed.
Race walking, slow jog, perhaps. But we actually cheated. We did it with AR-15s with a red dot.
Yeah.
But that was fun. I mean, where did you have to hold? Because we were about 20 yards, 15,
give
20
or take,
yards, something like that.
I mean, I just held center mass on the target, and I was really just trying to cluster, which I did not.
It was a cluster.
Well, but one of the things that you're trying to figure out, especially if you're just coming up, you're just completely dry and you haven't warmed up and gone through it a few times, is I just don't want to miss.
Right.
And then you want to try to get a cadence.
Yeah.
Which is hard to do because you're tracking it. It comes out and it's like, when do I start? And then do you run out of time before it disappears?
I guess if you do a lot of wing shooting, you can kind of go, okay, I've shot moving targets that way.
Yeah.
But shooting moving targets with a rifle, with a red dot, we were using a red dot, different. And I mean, if you're holding, so just to tell you, I mean, if you hold center mass, bullseye, I mean, as well as you can standing up, you at that speed, at that distance, you're probably hitting somewhere between maybe in the 3 to 4 inches behind the bullseye.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is kind of crazy if you think about it.
It is.
You're pretty close. It's not moving that fast.
Right. Yeah, and you've
So
got
you
high velocity.
Yeah, you were shooting 223 rounds.
Exactly.
So, shooting a moving target, you're having to hold, really what you should be is 2 or 3 inches out in front, perhaps.
Yeah.
And it also, I know in wing shooting, they'll say it's a lot about gun speed too.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Do you keep the dot ahead of it the whole time?
Yeah.
Hold that spot?
Well, in shooting, with like the AR pistol, I mean, you're locked up tight too. So you're not swinging with it. It's just it's a different like muscle memory that you're trying to tap into.
So what was funny is, we all shot it, and then everybody who was there shot it.
Yeah.
I think the best shooters, and frankly, like Chris Serino, who has shot quite a bit of Bianchi Cup.
Yeah. Yeah.
He got a few bullseyes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Most people didn't hit the bullseye.
Right.
And
Or around it.
or even around it,
Yeah.
right? Just to give you an idea, Doug Koenig, he's Team Ruger.
Yeah.
He's won the Bianchi Cup, I think 20 times.
Yeah.
With a pistol from 25 yards, not 15 yards.
Yeah.
He would hit the bullseye most of the time.
Yeah. That's amazing.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Bionic.
Unfathomable.
Yeah, but that was fun. Shooting moving targets. If you haven't shot moving targets, find a place that you can do that. It's a challenge. It's an interesting skill to figure out how to do it, where to hold.
Yeah.
I thought that was fun.
That was, another thing that definitely stood out to me. I mean, with the most rewarding sound in shooting sports, right? The ting.
That's right. Steel.
Caldwell steel. That was, full line of steel targets, multiple sizes. When we hammered on it.
Yeah, we did.
At distance.
And they showed us the steel that they wanted to torture test it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they actually took this big piece of steel, and it's AR 500. It's I think it's 3/8 inch thick, but they shot it 10,000 times in one day with 5.56 ammo at 100 yards. So it's going approximately 3,000 feet per second.
Yep. Yep.
And to torture test it, and it held up. It's not jacked up. It took all the paint off of it, but
it is not messed up at all. It looks great.
Yeah, they showed us one that was just another steel target that they'd ordered online that they kind of figured wasn't really up to par.
Yeah.
Shot it with a 5.56 round, and it almost went all the way through it, but it's a big, huge crater out of it, which just automatically first shot makes it not safe to shoot.
Yep, huge problem then at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was fun. What else? I was thinking about lately what we've been doing, filming a lot of guns and gear and shooting a lot of stuff. Trends that we're seeing. Trends in lights, trends in optics, trends in guns.
Yeah.
I'll call it a pistol rifle. The pistol rifles, the AR-15 pistols are super popular.
Super popular. Yeah.
And there's new stuff for that coming out.
And they're fun to shoot.
They are. The Springfield Armory, the St. Victor in 308.
Yeah.
Which you kind of go, a pistol in 308, but it's like a 10.5-inch barrel.
Yeah.
You don't lose a ton of performance out of it.
Yeah, true.
But it's just a little shorter, more compact package.
Yeah.
I almost want to go on a tangent here. The ATF regulations. What is magical about 16 inches on a rifle?
Yeah, arbitrary.
Yeah. 16 inches, good.
Yeah.
15 inches, felon.
Right. Exactly.
You're a bad guy.
Exactly. Yeah. No, it's arbitrary.
Yeah. But the AR pistols are.
We all have to stop asking them to clarify.
Right. AR-15 pistols, red dots on pistols, red dot sights getting smaller. We're seeing that.
Lots of dots. There's definitely
Crimson Trace is doing some new red dot stuff.
Yeah, they are. And there's definitely a movement that way. Because it's not like that technology necessarily is new.
Right.
Overall, red dots have been around for a long time, but it's really starting to pick up speed. Multiple brands are in the game. The products are quality, they hold up, and a lot of shooters are. We're seeing a lot of trends where people are transitioning to dots. Right. And trying to figure them out, because it seems automatic, but if you're really front sight focused for years and years and years, I mean, is it hard? Is it hard?
You just have to retrain yourself.
You just retrain yourself.
Actually, we had an interesting question. So yesterday on the range, we went live on Instagram, and one of the viewers, we were shooting a pistol with a red dot on it. It was a Smith & Wesson that had a Crimson Trace red dot on it, shooting Caldwell steel, and going bing, 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 and moving around the different targets, which is super handy with a red dot. You're not having to jump your focus from target
you're tracking
back to the sights. But we had a question that the guy said, do you prefer a red dot or a green dot? And I know you come from the world of lasers, and I was trying to explain to him, and I hope I was correct, was, red dot versus, because he was saying on daylight. I said red dot or a green dot in an optic, it doesn't really matter.
So, I mean, we've talked about this before, so you're talking about visible lasers downrange.
Which is different from a red dot in an optic.
Exactly, that's a different ballgame. And green, appearing brighter to the human eye because it's at the center of the color spectrum. Whereas, a low light situation, you're going to see red and green kind of about the same. Green just a little bit better, but you start washing it out with daylight, and you're projecting that dot downrange. It's going to change your visibility. Now, when the dot is contained in the window, it's not having to be projected downrange, so your eyes aren't having to necessarily compete with it. For me, and it's weird, but I feel like I can see a red dot better. It's less distracting for me versus a green dot. Almost
if a green would be almost too bright, or
it's almost like I forget to focus correctly on the dot through the window to the target, because it's almost like there's too much going on. That's just for me personally.
I'm not seeing it. It seems like I know there have been green dots on optics, and
there's amber and things like that as well.
But red still seems to be the dominant color. Is that a factor of battery life, technology?
Battery life is definitely a big part of it, because that's one of the big factors for red dots is, you have awesome battery life. It's just on all the time, and it draws very little. Green will definitely take power quicker.
I should mention, when you talk about that, they reminded us yesterday, Crimson Trace is still doing their batteries for life deal. So I think that's pretty cool. Basically they'll send you a new set of batteries for your optic each year. Is that right?
Yeah, every year.
So you reach out to Crimson Trace, you say, hey, I'd like a new set of batteries. They send you batteries.
It's a great deal. They've been doing it for years. And people love it, and it makes sense. So.
Or you could just go buy some batteries. But whatever, free batteries are good. So throwing hatchets, throwing knives.
Man, that was fun.
We're here, so let's go. We're going to go find the guy who can get us a deal for you. We're going to put a link in the description, and I'm just going to go ahead and say it. We're just going to go twist their arm. We're going to go get you a deal on some throwing hatchets. No excuses.
Absolutely.
You can be.
We can make that happen.
The best hatchet thrower in your neighborhood. Hey guys,
we already put that out there. So, what's the coupon code?
We kind of already told the audience this is happening. All right, so click the link below, buy some hatchets, become, a bad hatchet thrower.
Try different ways too.
More to come from this. We're filming lots of stuff from this event, so stay tuned. Make sure you download the Gun Dealio app. We got some deals coming on that side of things. Make sure you check out guntalk.com we have a bunch of content there. Sign up for the newsletter. Sign up for the newsletter. We're writing some articles from this event. We'll be doing some articles from this event. And also check out Gun Talk TV. Gun Talk TV is the home for all videos gun talk. We've got about, 1,800 or so videos there now. So a ton of stuff, and it's all free. If it's for free, it's for me.
It's for me, yeah.
All right, thanks for listening to Gun Talk Nation. We'll see you guys next time.